Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We've already got a few people on here and, no need to waste time. So anyway, okay, so what I want to do today is work with some of our photo play stamps and some of our dies, okay? So let me show you a little bit of kind of some of the things that I use. So first of all, I love having a stamp press, okay? I know there's different kinds out there. There's the Misty stamp press and all sorts of others. Hi, Annette. Hi, Francis. And I also like to use cold pressed watercolor paper. Okay, this is from Artesia. I got this online at Amazon. Also, you could use watercolor brush pens, which are really fun to use, okay? So also, you can use watercolor pencils, all right, this is my favorite, watercolor pencils and actual true watercolors. Hi, Sarah. And also, when you're using watercolor pencils, I'm sorry, this little label looks crazy, you'll want to use Gamsol, okay? That helps make the watercolors blend really well, which I'm going to show you that technique as well today. I'm going to show you two different ones using the watercolor brush pens and also watercolor pencils, okay? Also, you need Q-tips. You're going to need a black ink, or I guess you could use any color that you want to, but I like to start off with black as my base. And you want to make sure that is not a distress ink. You want this to be a permanent ink, otherwise it's going to smear all over the place, okay? And another thing to help keep watercolor into place is an embossing ink pad and also embossing powder, and I use both clear. Okay, if you want to use black, you could use that too, or any other color. I don't even know how many. I'm sure there's tons of embossing color powders. Also, another technique I'm going to show is this is crystal glaze Nouveau drops, and I like to just brush these on here and kind of make it look a little glossy. How's that? Hi, Karen. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Netherlands. Ooh, I bet it's gorgeous there. So let me show you some of these that I use already. So here is our little cat. This is from our Whiskers photo play collection by Becky Fleck. So stinking cute. So I'm going to make some Valentines, right? But I'm not using typical Valentine's paper. But I thought I love you and you're perfect is really super cute. You could also make a birthday card with this. Happy birthday to Mew. That's so cute. And then also we have school day. So I thought about this little girl and then say you're a star, okay? So I thought about using that one. And then this is their Fetch collection by Becky Fleck. And this is I Really Dig You, You're Doggone Cute. And then of course you have these cute little dogs on here with the paw prints and the doggy bones. So adorable. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This one, I use the Artesia watercolor markers, okay? I'm not the best watercolor marker person in the world, like I said. I prefer watercolor pencils and actual watercolor paints, okay? But I try to do my best. Here is the watercolor pencils, and then I use the Gamsol on this one. Here is another of the watercolor pencils on this one, but then I went ahead and added the glossy accents to kind of make it stand out and the colors pop out a lot better. I mean, that's what I think. So to me, this looks a little muted, and then this stands out a lot more. So they're both really super cute. Hi, Renee. And then we'll go ahead and do our first stamp. So I think I already stamped the little girl and the dog. So let me grab the cat from our Whiskers collection. So stinking cute. I love these. I'm going to grab my little cat, put this to the side. And like I said, I'm using the Artesia watercolor cold press paper. But you know what? I know they have watercolor paper at Michael's and Hobby Lobby. You could try using hot press too. I just prefer cold press, but that is completely up to you, okay? And I'm going to center this. I'm going to press it down real quick so I know that it's pressed down and sticks. And put that back in place. And then I'm going to grab my ink. I'm going to do this a couple of times. Just going to press this down here. Remember, this is a permanent ink, not distress ink, okay? Because distress won't work with watercolors because it is water-based. So I'm going to do this one more time. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Val. Press it down one more time. Let's see what we've got going on here. And I'm really pressing down hard, as you can hear. I'm going to do it one more time. Just for giggles, I really like to have a dark line there. Although the embossing powder really helps make the line stand out as well. There we go. Now at this point, I'm going to keep this in place, and I'm going to grab a little wipey, and I'm going to wipe off my black ink. Okay. And then, sorry, you're going to hear some racket for a second, so you might want to turn your volumes down. I apologize. Let me just dry this real fast, and I'm going to do this really quickly. Don't do it too much because you don't want to melt your stamp, okay? So I'm going to grab my embossing pad here, and I'm just going to stamp that on there really good. Okay. And then I'm going to press it down really well. Okay. Now, to help me out here, I'm going to move this out of my way. I'm going to grab another piece of paper, a fairly large one. Okay. And I'm going to grab my embossing powder. And again, this is clear. Just going to put it right on top. And I'm just going to kind of pat it in there. I probably don't really need to use my fingers, but I do anyway. Okay, and then I'm going to smack that out a little bit. Okay, get rid of the extra powder. And then dump this back in here so I can save it for next time. And then again, I'm going to grab my heat gun. And I like to heat it from both sides, okay? Because what's going to happen, you're going to start seeing some bending. Hi, Elaine, Nova Scotia. That's another place I want to go to this year is Canada. So hopefully I can get there. Okay, sorry, this is going to be loud. But you're going to see as it's heating up, the lines will start getting darker. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit underneath. There we go. See, it's working its magic. Okay. One more time from the bottom to get rid of the bending. Okay. And now I'm just going to move this to the side and let that dry up a little bit. So these are already dry. Hi, Sue. Hi, Mary. Okay, let's start. You know what? Let's start off with the doggy first. We're going to go ahead and use watercolors for our little doggy. And I think I'm going to stick with kind of the same colors I used last time. And I have a bunch of different kinds, okay? I'm going to start off with my lightest color first. And that is actually going to be this peach color, okay? And I'm just doing this in a circular motion because he is rounded. And I'm staying away from the areas that I want to keep white, such as the bone and places like that. And I am going to do a little bit of his nose, under his ears. Okay. So this is quite a bit of layering here that we're going to be doing with our pencils, okay? Then I'm going to work with my next lighter color. And I'm going to start filling it in, okay? And I'm just doing this lightly right now. I'm not really pressing too hard. Okay. These pencils, the Gamsol actually will do all the spreading for you, but this does kind of help. I want to definitely go darker where my shadows are. Okay. So right around the eyes, around his nose. Okay. And like right there under his ears, I'm going to outline that. Okay. I'm just going to fill in his ears. Hi, Marcy. Just going to keep going. Right underneath his, there's the other part of his mouth right there. Then I'm going to put that one down real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in his bandana. I'm going to do this one blue. Okay. And since I do not have a darker blue, I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of black for my shadowing. Okay. I'm just doing a little bit. I'm going to go back to the color I was using before. I'm going to keep on filling in his legs. If I miss any of y'all's questions, I really do apologize, and I will try to go through these after I get done with the video and try to answer them. So basically, I'm just kind of filling him in right now, okay? I'm going to grab, here's my next brown color, okay? So I'm going to go to the next darker one. And again, I'm going to start filling it in a little bit more and more around the ears. Anywhere I want light, do not color that in, okay? So like right here, I'm going to keep this as my lightest part on my dog here, okay? And maybe right here around the top of his head. I'm going to keep his cheeks a little bit lighter in the middle. I'm just going to keep on filling this in. Okay, I think that's good where I want it. And again, where I want my shade. Underneath the bandana, all along the edges of his body, and then again down here, I'm going to go in pretty dark on his feet. And down on his underbelly. And along the sides of his legs. Okay. And then for his tail, I'm just going to do the bottom half of his tail. And I'm going to leave this top half lighter. Now I'm going to go one more time with another darker color. Oops, I missed a spot. I can already see it. Oops. Sorry. Okay. One more time with a darker color. I'm going to go around his nose. This is like a dark, deep brown. Okay. I'm just going to leave my little reflection there for his nose. And again, I'm going to go right underneath here and fill in a little bit of the dark spots here. Little shadowing. Hi, Jojo. So right around the tip of his tail, where I'm going to have it the darkest. Okay. I'm going to hold this up so y'all can see a little bit closer. But that's, I think I'm happy with how this looks, okay? So now I'm going to get out my Gamsol. Let me move this out of the way real quick so I don't knock everything all over. I'm going to grab a couple Q-tips, okay? Because you definitely don't want to blend blue in with your beige, okay, or your browns, because that would look crazy. I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm going to start off with that part first. And I am going to just roll it out a little bit on my finger, trying to get rid of some of the extra Gamsol, because I don't want it to run in everywhere. Okay, and I'm just going to, and if you go over the lines, that's okay, because you're going to be using your die going around these edges, okay? And then for his nose, I'm going to start, you know, in a circular motion, filling that in. Now I'm going to put that one to the side for now. Get out another one just to do his body, okay? I'm going to start off with my ears. And then I'm going to work my way around his head. And the harder you press, it's actually going to lift it. Okay, so if you feel like you want to lift some of it out, you can do that. And then we're going to keep going around his body here. Right down into his feet. Okay. I'm just going to go right back in here, and any spots that I missed, I'm going to clean that up and blend. Okay, staying away from the bone. So if you actually do this without using the embossing powder, you would see a lot more stuff running out on the sides with this watercolor paper, okay? The embossing powder helps keep it all inside, okay? If that explains anything there, I hope that it does. So I'm going to put this one to the side, and we're going to start working on our cat. Let that one dry up a little bit. And I'm going to start grabbing out my watercolor markers. Like I said, this is not my favorite thing to do. I'm not a Copic person at all by any means. But I do like that it is a little faster, okay? And y'all are going to see why in just a minute. Well, maybe you can time me and you can tell me which one you think is faster. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the lightest. This one is called Dolphin Gray. And I'm basically going to fill in my entire cat with this color except his eyeballs. So I'm just going to go around there, and I'm literally using the very tip of this to color this in. This really has a lot of ink in it, so be aware of that if you do have these markers, okay? You do not need to press hard at all. I'm like doing this feather light, okay? And I'm basically painting in the direction of the way the drawing is, okay? So since the fur is going to the right, I'm going to go ahead and kind of keep my brush to the right, okay? And then vice versa, to the left, I'm going to keep it to the left. And then straight. Okay. Hi, Jennifer. Okay. So now, oh, don't let me forget his little ears. Let me see what I can fill in for the ears here. We want, let me see what color this does. I don't think I'm going to like this color. I'll tell you that right now. This is like a real light blue, I believe. Well, you know, it's not too bad. We'll go with it. Okay, let me fill in some of my boo-boos here. Areas that I missed. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and start working in with the next lighter gray color. Again, trying to keep with my shadowing, okay? I'm just going to stay with the outline of his body. Okay, so I'm going to do the inside. A little bit more of his ears. And I probably am not going to go any darker on those ears. To me, this is pretty dark. So I'm going to do the top of his tail, leaving a little bit. Okay. And then again along his body here. See, these markers are really fluid, I can say that. So a little bit really goes a long way. Go underneath his little cheeks. And I'm doing short little strokes to make it look like cat fur, I guess would be the best way to put that. And then I'm going to start working on my next color gray here, which is a little bit darker. And I'm going to go underneath his fur. And I'm going to do the bottom of his feet here. And under his tail. And again, underneath the fur. Okay, now I'm just going to fill him in. So again, I'm going to go back to that lighter gray. Let me see. I think this is the lightest one. And I'm just going to start blending it in here. So like I said, the markers, totally not my favorite, but they do have a real strong color to them, so that does help. Go along on his head here and his tail. Okay, so now he's ready. So that's it for the markers. And then for our last one, we're going to start working on our person. What a lot of people hate painting people or coloring in people because of the skin tones. I actually love it. I think it's really enjoyable. Sorry about the racket. I'll get these out of the way. So here's where I come in with my hair and skin tone pencils or watercolor pencils. Any watercolors help too. Again, I'm going to start off with my lightest color, which is basically 05 in this collection. And I'm going to fill in her whole face. I'm going to go right over her glasses, right into her nose. And I'm going to get the edges of her face. I'm even going to go a little bit up into the hairline because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. I'm going to grab her little ears. Okay. Then actually the pages of the book, I wanted this light color as well. And her hands. And then her knees. Now I'm going to add a little bit of pink in here. Okay. This one is 08. And I'm going to put a little bit on her eyes. Okay. and a little bit where her cheeks are, and maybe a tad bit on her nose, and just a smidge on her forehead, and in a circular motion right here on her knees and hands. Okay. For the chair, I'm going to use, let me see, where's my other one? I'm going to use this brown color right here. And we're not going to be using the Gamsol just yet. We're going to do that last. Okay, let me get the back of the chair. And I'm going to press a little hard because I want this to be very dark. Okay. And unless you have the Q-tips that are pointed, I do know that they have them online, as well as if you have a Daiso near you, they sell them too. I just don't have any here because we don't have a Daiso here. I'm going to grab this lighter brown right here for this portion of her chair. Okay. Oops, I missed a spot of her chair. Hi, Heather. Okay. So for her hair, I'm going to go ahead and use this kind of golden brown color. And I'm going to do the whole entire hair this color first, okay? This is my base. Sorry, I normally would do a little bit better, but I feel like I'm a little rushed. I don't know why. Okay. I'm just going to color all that in. And then I'm going to come in with some of the other browns and give her hair some depth and definition. Okay. So I'm going to grab this. Well, actually, I'm going to use this little ruddy color. There's no name for it, so I don't know what the actual color is. But I'm going to keep the lighter color for the top of her hair and the darker color for this part. Okay, so the bottom of the braids I'm going to do in the darker color. Okay. Fill it in a little bit more. Make sure I haven't missed anything. Because I can see some spots that I've missed. Okay. And then for her book, I'm going to make her book red. Then I'm just going to fill it in. And I know I really move my paper around a lot. I think when I was in watercolor, I drove my art professor crazy because she's like, why can't you keep anything still? I was like, I don't know, I'm just like that. Hold on one second. Move this out of the wrong spot. For the middle of her book, I'm going to do this yellow. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Sally. The middle here, I'm going to do this black. And then for her dress, I'm going to make that orange. And I'm going to do that pretty dark, okay? So at this point, I'm coloring in pretty hard. for her socks, I'm going to alternate between light blue and dark blue. Although that's hardly going to be noticeable once I use the Gamsol, because your Gamsol is going to bleed these colors together a little bit. So that's just a little warning, so you know that that is going to happen. Okay. Now for her hat, I know this girl looks kind of crazy, right? I got all these colors going on. I'm going to do green. Let me do this lighter color green at the top here. We're making her super colorful. Okay. And then for the little bow for this hat, I'm going to do this a little bit of a darker green. I'm going to come in around here and actually do a little bit of this hat a darker green. Okay. So now she's ready to use the Gamsol. So I'm going to start off with her face first. I'm going to use completely new Q-tips because I don't want to accidentally mix colors that I do not want mixed. I'm going to grab several out here. So let me start off with her face and her skin, because to me that is the hardest, and I just don't want to mess it up. So I always begin with that. Okay. Again, I like using that circular motion. Again, her little hands and her little knobby knees. Okay. Then I'm going to come in here. Let me pat this out a little bit. I'm going to work with her hair. Just kind of blending that in teeny little circular motions. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you for the chair. The only thing I'm really going to blend in is this portion of the chair, because these are so thin, I would need a very small brush to blend this, okay? And I don't have that currently, so I'm going to leave that chair alone for now. Oops. Pat some of that out. And now I'm going to work on her hat, starting off with a darker portion of it and work my way up into the lighter sections. Okay. And so it's really coming along nice and quickly. And then for her book, see, I just love how the Gamsol just really, you know, kind of cleans it up and blends it in together. Looks real nice. And then for her socks here, okay. And then the last part is her little, and again, remember, if your colors bleed, take the other side of the Q-tip and you can pick that up, okay? So that is the end of the tutorial, and I'm so excited that you all came and joined in with me. And I can't wait to see you all create stuff too. Don't forget that if you use Instagram or anything, hashtag Photo Play Paper. In that way, Lori, who is our person who creates all our marketing stuff, she can promote yours as well on our page. And I'm going to show you what we're going to make next week. We are going to be using the new Here and There collection, and I really think I just love this vintage look. Okay, so I don't know if this is really new for us, but I think it is. I really love this look. Okay, very, very pretty. Love the colors. Very masculine, but you could also, you know, feminize it as well. So we're going to make a little candy container, and it's so easy. You just make a little window here. So anyway, I can't wait to see you all next week. I hope you have a wonderful and fabulous weekend, guys. Bye, y'all.